Okay, yay, we've made it. So, welcome everybody. Hello, it's been a while. And today I have with me special guest Chiara Dolza from Italy. Beautiful
Yes.
Italy.
Ciao, Julie. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you chose. Thank you, thank you. So we were maybe going to have a little chat about conscious parents, conscious kids, and see where else it goes. As access parents, there's always something different possible with raising kids and empowering them to know what they know.
Mhm.
So, how old were your kids when you found access?
Actually, I was I was pregnant with my no, I was pregnant with my second one, and I underwent pregnancy with receiving bars every week. What an horrible
Wow,
thing. Yes.
what a
And
gift.
then he was exactly, and then he was born on a Thursday, and on the Saturday, both him and I went to the bars class. And I remember napping the whole way because I was like really tired. I was like, just, with this baby, like very, just after partum. But yeah, so it was in between kids, and they got to receive body processes and ESB and bars their whole life, basically.
Wow,
So yeah, that's how it went.
very, very cool. Yeah, I wonder, are they slightly different? Like the one who came in receiving all the bars and all that, does he have a different temperament?
Um, they're all like when some of my friends get pregnant and their baby is born, I usually send them the "Welcome to the Jungle" song, the Guns N' Roses one, because there are no, in my experience, no kids are like mine. Are three
Yeah.
extraterrestrial, one of its their own kind. Um, the eldest kid that hadn't had the bars during the pregnancy received a lot of bars after. He has been asking for a lot of bars. And so I see that the two youngest one, Martin and Leon, they kind of know everything is possible without needing to kind of think about it or just like find a how in a way. That it's
Mhm.
just possible. And I think that Felix, we had to, the moment I got in touch with the access tools and I got to know about primary relationship, we have been actively clearing that up between the two of us since their dad was never there. We noticed, like, both him and I noticed that it was almost like he was the adultier person and I was the only adult, really, person in the
Right,
household.
right.
So we really had to just use this tool, which is just basically um, destroy and uncreate everywhere. You have been creating a relationship that is a primary relationship, so that your kid is your first relationship, and you're the first relationship of their kid, your kid, because you can have intimacy without necessarily having exclusivity. Like you can have unique without needing to like exclude anything out of this. So we've been working with that, and our relationship
Yeah.
is going
That's
well.
it's such a huge thing, primary relationship with a child, that people don't know about it. So if you're listening, this is a really cool awareness to have, and it doesn't take much to change it and have awareness of it. You just, like you said, you pock and pod where you've made your child your primary relationship. But if you are looking to create a relationship with another adult and maybe have sex, you don't want your primary relationship to be with your child because that gets in the way. It just doesn't allow it to be ease.
You know, I was looking at how, like, for example, with Italian culture and let's say I would say the Latin concept of family, but really I don't think it's exclusively Latin. It's just the concept of how relevant family is in the word. um, primary relationship is almost a never missing ingredient in families and in relationship. There is this, but it has this stickiness of like need and exclusion attached that make it not necessarily so
Hmm.
sparkly and possible. It's just like that's how we go. And I just think that primary relationship or any relationship, if you're not willing to change it and look at it, has this energy of that's of like identifying like you are this
Yeah.
way, I am this way, and then you keep each other at check with how you are and I am, and this is gonna be. And we're allowed to change, but like we have very limited range of
Yeah.
change space in a way.
It's like
So
nailing one foot to the floor, and you can only go that distance
yeah,
in any direction.
so maybe not. That's
This is
that's our
you, this is me.
proposal.
Yeah.
Maybe there are other options.
And it's
So
funny how we kind of fall into that, like there's a magnetic attraction to doing that. But if we can just remember to destroy and uncreate our relationships and create them fresh and new every day,
mm,
it's like being in nature, you know. Oh, who are you? What are you doing today? And how would you like to create and express? And, you know, what do you feel like choosing that might be different
that
tomorrow?
works today, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think I find I don't know, um, having kids and young kids around. I was always fascinated by their choices. Some were extremely um, weird yet extremely elegant in the sense of maximum result, minimal effort.
Yes.
And that is really, to me, it's a really an invitation to tap into and acknowledge and just remind ourselves that we are an organism of consciousness and we're a mammal of consciousness. We know, like we instinctively know what will work, and yet somehow being a man or a woman or my age or my culture or whatever, my family drives us crazy. It's insane how many point of view we think we need to take on rather than instinctively know what we know. And I recall a couple of years ago, my kids are homeschooled, and Leon, the youngest one, they need to do an exam at the end of every year to just make sure that they can keep on learning the subject of the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher asked him, and it was first grade, first to second. And the teacher asked him, "Do you have any animal? Can you tell me the name of biped, so 2 feet animal?" And Leon said, "Oh, man." And the teacher was like, well, yeah, well, we kind of could say that it's an animal. And Leon, that is really a bit like, it, yes, he said, no, it's not like we can tell we are a mammal. And I was like, down, I was waiting for
Wow.
him and I was like, let's turn down the sass and be a little bit more condescending with the teacher. Let's just move on smoothly from first grade to second grade, you know. But it intrigued me because um, I recognize that it's something that we study science like we are mammal. We are a mammal. We have all the function of a mammal, and it's a sublimated version of a mammal. Yet it is a mammal. There is all the functions are those, and he had that perfectly clear. But there was also the school point of view where man is something and animals are, animal kingdom, and we don't belong to animal kingdom, and it was really interesting. The teacher adores him, so she was like, she would appreciate the sass. But it was interesting for him to instinctively know so easily that we are a mammal, and we kind of forget as adults. I feel. I don't know what would you say?
Yeah.
It,
And that he can know what he knows, and that nobody can sway that awareness is awesome. It's almost like teachers try to break the wildness, like when you're riding a horse for the first time, you like try to break the horse.
oh,
And, people do that to kids. They're like, no, you got to like get in line and do, this is how this reality works. And it's like, some kids are sorry.
Yeah.
This reality is just not enough. I'm going to be beyond it and I'll do what I have to do to function here. But there's so much more possible.
Mm. It's funny when I was like my first kid was in we were living elsewhere, and my first kid was in kindergarten,
Uh-huh.
and my second kid was very, very, like, it was a baby, and the one that received the bars during the pregnancy and stuff. And I recall that it happened a couple of times that I had to like wait to sign something at the kindergarten. So I would wait in the class for like a paper to be delivered to me so I could sign or something. And and I recall that all of the kids, all of the classmates of Felix, of my eldest son, they would come to me and ask me stuff about like why the baby was shaped like that, or what was, the fountain hole that they have in the head when they're tiny that you can really see their heart pulsing through that. And they would ask me questions, and then it started in the classroom, and then when there were like parties or stuff, I had all the kids coming to me, and it felt like they were like prisoner of this reality. They would ask me very specific, often very scientific question, but a lot of question of like, why does that happen, or why do you breastfeed him, and how does it work? And I would explain them like how the mammal's body, when you're pregnant, go through da da da, and so then you have this available, which is good because they don't have teeth, and then when they start to have teeth, and I would just kind of guide them through what was happening. But it was very funny. The other moms were like making fun of me, and also I think a bit jealous because all the kids were like, and it was like they were prisoner and they were asking me for news from the outside world, and it was like, so what's going on with Al
You're going to
Qaeda?
tell us what's real, not
Yes,
not the
yes.
little, a stork comes and brings the baby.
No, I was like, I'm not the stork mom conversation. Sorry, no. But it was funny because I saw how much they appreciate even just,
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about fact, even though science-based fact, but if you give them also that background of information, like, okay, so this is how it works. That's what we discover so far of how it works. There are way more things that we don't know and do not even have enough data to, formulate anything. But that's what we know so far, and it applies to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But what do you know? There are exceptions, and I love talking about exceptions. And the kids usually get so excited at like, oh, there was this giant squid, or there is this anomaly, and I feel like they recognize that there is the rules and there is the norm, and then there is the outside of the norm that is exciting and
Yeah.
naughty in a way, because it doesn't stay in the norm. It's like, I I won't meet this parameter. I'm gonna be different. And so yeah. Oh God.
I love
Don't
how
make
they're always pushing the envelope too, and how they know when something's not true. I always spoke to my kids like they were an infinite being, not a baby or a child. And to the best of my ability, I spoke what was true. I didn't lie to them. I didn't, I mean, Santa Claus was a tough one, but they
Santa
would
Claus
say, is
is
Santa
very
Claus real? And I would say, Santa lives in the hearts of all people who love to give. Like that was my way.
cute, Mama. That's good. That's a good
Like, yes,
way.
he's this old man. No, I didn't say that, but I was like, he lives in the hearts of all people who love to give. And they were like, what does that mean?
It's like, that's it. Cookies for everyone. Let's go. Yeah. Well, but they
But
also
like,
know.
how often are we told something, sold something, and we're like totally confused by it, and because everybody else goes along with it, we buy it as true, and then we learn later in life that it wasn't. And so your inner compass gets wonky when you're not speaking what's true or empowering them to know what they know.
And also as a parent, don't you feel like, I mean, you had that experience as a kid to energetically be aware of something and that the words were completely different. And didn't that drove you crazy?
It
To me, it
was
was
so
like
confusing. Yeah,
mind-boggling. It was like, why? Like, and it's also kind of gaslighting because you start to wonder if you can trust your own knowing or not. You're
exactly.
like, so it all feels wonky and super weird, but everyone is this fake smiling around. Why? Like, and then you keep on trying to understand rather than know. So what would it take for like parents to be willing to just, and even you can smooth the edges in a way, you can, if there is a situation that is, I don't know, quite intense or quite strong, and you know that it's going to be, I don't know, maybe not easy to sleep that night or something like this, you can just take it in bits and pieces and be like, okay, so
Mhm.
this is the conversation we're having, and oh god, I don't know, we open it's not a can of worm, it's like a vase of Pandora. I love this, like all the parenting conversation, because I think it's such an evolving organism that you can kind of, get some awarenesses, but then will they apply tomorrow? You don't know. Like,
Yeah, well, when every single child is different and every parent is different, every situation is going to be different. So there's no answer to it. There's no one way to do all of this and do it right. It's like you're just going to have to choose in the moment and see what happens. Do
yes,
the
it's
best you can.
it's an adventure. You wake up and you're like, okay, who am I parenting today? Am I parenting or being parented? Let's go and see. I guess I will find out. And it was actually one of the things that we run this project, the Bars at School project. There is a little documentary on YouTube, and one mom, and so basically 73 kids, second grader, they received the bars for 2 months, and that's it. Some of them would chat, some of them would fall asleep deeply, etc. And the mom and the janitors and the teachers, like everyone was invited to try. They knew that Tuesday morning was birthday. And once came the mom with a toddler, and she was, it was this moment when you have more than one kids, and one is a baby, and the other one is grown up ish, but not really. And she was extremely, busy and stuff. And she just came to me and she was like, as if she was telling me a secret. She was like, Saturday morning is usually busy because my kid go to, football practice, and my husband take him, and then and then the toddler, I need to breastfeed and change the diaper and whatever. And she said, and after the second week you run bars on him, he crawled on the big bed and the baby was still sleeping. And he said, and he just snugged a little bit and said, I want to run your bars. Come here. And so he just crawled in the back and just put his hands on the head of the mom. And like, she was so used to have to, wake up, do breakfast, be a very active kind of helicopter mom in a way, because it
Yes.
happens when you have babies, and it completely shattered their paradigm of being the provider.
Yeah.
And she was taken care of, and she was like, I could, and it was really fun because she was telling me as if she was telling me a secret. She lowered their voice and she was like, I could receive, like, I could have the option to not do anything and everything. And that are also my repetitive schemes of how this is how Saturday morning need to go, because it's not a rush, but it's going to be a rush if we don't follow a schedule in a way. Um, Changed completely. And she was there, and she was like, I don't even know what he was doing, but I felt so taken care of,
Mm.
and so included in this experience he was having that. And she was like, I was wondering what would it take for like every family to have that, kid or weird uncle or whatever that know how to run bars. So then you can have this experience with many different members of the family, or not, it can be the girlfriend of someone, but like you can have these receiving experiences.
Mhm.
And it was like,
Beautiful.
yes.
Yeah. Wow. It changes so much. If you have not experienced having your bars run, go find a place. I mean, it's in almost every single country in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And well, this weekend I facilitated a bars class, and the
Mm.
lady, who came to it, she said she'd had her bars run before and it was time to learn. And I said, what, how many times have you had your bars run? She said, oh, about 3. I was like, that's cool. Like, how long ago was that? And she said, well, it's been 1.5 years. And I'm like, you've had your bars run 3 times in 1.5 years? Like, I'd like to do 3 times a week, just saying.
Yeah.
I'm an extreme peace lover. But yeah, like, wow, there's so many people in the world who can run people's bars, hundreds of thousands. And there's a whole bunch of people on the Access website. And next weekend, we have an expo here in Northern California where we're going to be doing sample sessions of
Yay.
bars and the energetic facelift. And there's always events like this going on all over the planet. So
And
check it out.
can we just share something? One, I'm going to say it because I don't know why, but in Italy, it looks like bars kind of are in the realm of spirituality, which is not. It's a different conversation, but let's not go down that rabbit hole. But one, you do to have your bars run, you do not need to believe or not believe in anything. It's just a way, very pragmatic way to wind down, put down your system, relax and expand. So you don't have to buy into any point of view. 2, you don't have to like the person that is running your bars or that you're running the bars to. I mean, it feels awful
So
to
true.
say, but people, like, I had people telling me that they were concerned about good energy, bad energy. Never mind.
Right.
Like, this is not the Access Bars conversation. You can have a kid run them to you, which is awesome because they have very little point of view usually, and they're also very fast, which is also appreciable sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's not like soul meeting or something like this. It's a relaxing static massage that allows you to wind down, expand, and have like a fresh perspective on anything in your life. Worst case scenario, you feel very relaxed. Awful case scenario, you nap like a dead dog, and it's awesome because you're not really napping, like you pass down for maybe 5 minutes and then you feel hyper refreshed and like ready to
Like
rock.
rebooting your computer.
Oh God.
And clearing out all the open windows and stuff so that you're like totally clear and fresh and present and awake and ready.
Yeah. And isn't that elegant? Because instead of like waiting, clicking the button forever and be like, gosh, I feel taken back to the 2000 where my stupid thing wouldn't download. And it's like, it just goes and, oh God. Yeah. So please, yes, bars, look it up, accessconsciousness.com. And if you call most of the bars facilitator or bars practitioner, or you get in touch with them, they're usually willing to give you like maybe 10, 15 minutes sample session, informally being like, oh, sure. Yeah, let me have you try it and see how it is. And it's cool.
Yeah. So true. And another side effect is looking younger.
That.
I used to do many years of meditation, and they talked about, breathing in a certain way so that you wouldn't have to breathe, because each time you take a breath, it erodes part of your cells and whatever in your body. And so this is a way to maintain youthfulness, is to like do this breathing exercise, meditate, pull all your energy out away from your body and like be still. Okay.
Give me an anxiety. What if you sneeze? What if you like?
I tried it, it was okay for a while. Anyway, once I found the access tools and who does it belong to and things like that, I realized I didn't have to close my eyes and pull my energy away from my body to be in this state of a walking, talking meditation. So that was cool. But like the bars actually help you clear points of view that you have, that maybe you've bought, or maybe you created, or maybe you're just going along with everybody else, that age your body, that allow your cells to degenerate, and it actually gives you a different choice. So that paired with the energetic facelift, like it's amazing what else is possible with your body
Oh
and with
God, yeah.
energy and being rejuvenated.
Well, I many years ago I was reading. I like miracles experiences, and I stumbled upon an article about how someone that got like a toe amputated, the toe would grow back, and it grew back, or also just, and this is a very silly things that we probably all know. The bumblebee is a bug that wouldn't be able to fly because it's too chubby to fly, basically. But he fly anyway because he doesn't know, like he doesn't have the point of view that he cannot fly, so he does. And this man didn't have the point of view that is like, it was not like he was trying very hard to make his toe grow back. It was more like, yeah, why not? And so how much our point of view really conditions how we show up in the world. Like, also, if you think about it, it's a constant point of view that we impel on ourselves, that if we didn't, ourselves would have way more freedom to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna, have curly hair now because I want to. Like, yeah, that will work. And then I'm gonna create everything that allows me to enjoy and vibrate and experience this word to the maximum of viability. And there is this exuberance that your body is able and capable to show you, that sometimes it's like, I don't know, sometimes it looks like you kind of get access to the puppy body that you truly have, where you're like, let's do that, let's jump here, let's roll over here, let's, let's play, let's experience this universe and allow it in and allow ourselves out, and for the fun of it, never mind who cares or judge or whatever.
And if we can do that as adults and as parents, look at how we can allow our kids to maintain that youthful way of being. Because like most people, they grow up and you stop being silly and running and doing fun things because you're an adult and you have to be serious and get to work.
Adulthood is a bummer. Don't buy it, guys, please. I mean, it comes with awesome things like license, like driver license and money and some other things, but then the rest, please have your reality with, what's my reality with adulting? I would ask that question, because otherwise you begin to be like, also resentful, I find,
Yeah.
because it is as if something has been taken away from you, like the playfulness and the joy, to fit in the category of adults. I don't know. I don't see many gains.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I first found Access, I was super serious and trying to do everything right. And, like most people. And my daughter, she was 6 at the time. And I remember just totally changing, like 180 degrees, just totally changing. And we went to see a movie and there was an escalator. And I was like, ooh, let's run up the down escalator. And she's like, what are you doing? And she was like the parent, and I was running up the down escalator and having so much fun and giggling and laughing. And she was like, oh my God, what's happened to my mom?
yeah. How does it get even better? It's also freaking beautiful and amazing. How, I don't know. I see my kids being very amused when you're being you, which is not necessarily serious. That doesn't mean that you're not on top of your game. Like, that doesn't mean that then you cannot finish your math page or whatever,
Right.
But you can have fun while doing it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm all for the exuberance.
Mhm.
So it's like they know that they cannot. That doesn't mean you will switch off your awareness. It means that your awareness is switched on so intensely that even when you tell them, oh, okay, we had this deal, you haven't respected, you do the dishes, young man, and they're like, oh, but you're like, that's how it works. It's not like I'm here to be like taken advantage of, nor are you, but we had a deal and that's how it works. Otherwise, how are you going to make it up? But when you do it from the non-seriousness and non like authoritarian, but like in Italian we have two words. One is authority and the other one is autorevole, and it's different. It's like a bit like one is a boss and the other one is the leader. Like the energy is completely different. One is because I say so, and the other one is follow me if you wish, don't if you don't, but I'm going anyway. And the kids really know the difference. So when you're being all, I don't know, authoritarian and stuff, they might not necessarily listen to you. When
Right.
you're having fun, they might be like, who's this infinite being? What is she up to? This crazy lady. I can never put a finger on what she's gonna do next. I better be aware and be attentive when she speaks, because she's nuts. She's not, I won't be able to predict what she's up to. So it's a way to not control, but like be a little bit more powerful.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, our half hour is already up. How did that happen?
Yes.
Do you have anything going on that you'd like to share? Any classes coming up?
I am doing a Conscious Parent, Conscious Kid intro in like a week or something on the 17th, and I'm very happy about it. It's going to be just an introduction, so like 1.5 hours, possibly 2. And I'm looking forward for like the classes, because there's a manual, and the manual is phenomenal, and I'm reading it, and I'm like I feel like a nerd, you know, when you're highlighting everything and you're like, oh God, what about this? And then you're like, yes, I do it, but still it's so good. Like I want to remember that. I want to use it not just in parenting, but everywhere in my life. And so yes, I'm very excited about that.
So many of these tools are just gold.
And you can apply them everywhere. So it's just like, it's not like relationship parenting. It's not like this close thing. There is this organism that melt and morph, and you can tap into all parts of it. And so access consciousness, go find out.
Yes. Well, it was so nice catching up, and thank you everybody watching now and in the future. And how does it get better than this? Have a beautiful week.
Thank you, Julie.
See you.
Bye.